So, folks, there is a trend going around right now called artificial intelligence, and it's largely based on like large language models where you feed like a learning algorithm a bunch of data, and then it just regurgitates what it thinks you want to hear based on the context clues that you put into it. And it continues to learn and grow as you use it, right? And well, one might think, hey, that seems kind of cool. And, in a way, it is kind of cool. It's like a slightly more advanced Google search result engine, except that it's highly biased by, the parameters of its implementation. And, well, it has given rise to this idea that you can effectively just do whatever you want with it because this generative AI tech, well, it doesn't work very well. Let's start by taking a look at just a rather innocuous example of what I mean here. So Vogue magazine does fashion stuff. They have models, they work with people, and they're known for being trendsetters or whatever. They tried something new. Does this look like a real woman? AI model in Vogue raises concerns about beauty standards. Now, that is pretty interesting. Let's scroll down to see if we have the full picture of said AI model. Let's see here. Oh, you can only just barely see it right here. Let's see if I can pull up the let's see if I can pull up the full image from the magazine here. Here it is. Now, for those of you who don't quite understand the proportions of like a real woman, this woman in this ad is taller than the door she's standing next to, and is approximately 8 feet tall. I just have to feel like I feel like I need to point this out, right? Like, hey, maybe don't do this. Actually, maybe use like real women who wear the real clothes that you really make instead of the AI approximation of them while trying to generate like backgrounds. It's just like, what are you doing? No, genuinely, what are you doing? This is an ad for Guess, and it just seems to me like, hey, this is maybe bad. Like, you're already trying to outsource work that human beings do to a machine that can't even approximate how tall a woman is. I don't know. I wouldn't have noticed. Yeah, but okay. Maybe I can put it a different way. You might not have noticed, but understand that there are entire teams of people whose job it is to notice this. There are teams of people at the magazine, there are teams of people at the ad agency, there are teams of people up and down the entire production process to put this out there whose job it is to notice that. And I'm just throwing this out there because if the task that we're giving it is, hey, what's the rough size of a human woman? And it can't even give like a general ballpark that is correct, that's a problem, right? Now, you might think, well, that's not a very big problem, Jack. I mean, after all, basically no one would notice that, right? Well, it becomes a bigger issue when you say, take that technology and you're thinking, hey, maybe we can use this LLM technology for a different reason. Like, hey, maybe I want to feed all of my favorite actors' lines and delivery into one of these machines and have it replicate that person. We can effectively bring them back from the dead. Does it become a problem then? Like if you're doing it to, say, one of the most beloved comedians of all time. Like, say, would you want the legacy of Robin Williams to be fed into a fucking machine so that it can Robin Williams can just talk to you all the time? It'll be like he's just there. Do you start to become a little bit more estranged from that outcome? Because I can understand some people might feel a bit like, oh, well, I mean, it's just an ad, right? Like, who cares? Well, what about who cares about a guy who's already dead? He's not using that voice anymore. Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire star Matthew Lawrence wants to resurrect Robin Williams' voice using AI and says it would be so cool. He's got to be the voice of AI. Matthew Lawrence, I believe, is this fellow right here. Now, let's take a look. I would love, now obviously with the respect and the okay from his family, but I would love to do something really special with his voice because I know for a generation that voice is just so iconic. Lawrence said, it's not just the fact that I knew him and worked with him, and so it's in my head, it's in everybody's head, and it would be so cool. And my answer to that is, fuck no. That was his voice. That was his creation. You love it so much, go make something of your own. Go work on your own voice. Go work and do things that make you happy and spread that happiness to other people without fixating on resurrecting nostalgia. This is just, again, I use the term necromancy, but I think it really kind of encapsulates why we should hate this technology in this context. Now, you might be saying, well, I mean, Jack, look, it's not fine. Like, maybe, okay, I didn't really care about the advertisement thing, but I can see kind of what you're getting at here with the Robin Williams thing. I can kind of see it, but like, surely there are other like use cases. Maybe we could, I don't know, like going through a lot of paperwork is really boring, right? Maybe we could have one of these large language models go through our paperwork for us. Wouldn't that be great? Then we wouldn't have to do any of this bureaucratic nonsense, these day-to-day mundane tasks that kind of keep the world running. You know, maybe we could just give that to an AI and like everything would be all right. Maybe that'd be great. Well, let's take a look at this report from CNN real quick. Just real quick, all right?
Somebody needs to punch this guy in the asterisk. Robin was notoriously angry at Disney for years because they used his voice to promote Aladdin without his permission. This is definitely not his wishes.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Robin Williams turning over in his grave. But let's take a look at maybe this bureaucratic use case for large language models.
So the FDA has a new AI tool that's intended to help employees and revolutionize drug approvals, meant to speed them up and help them with that.
Wow,
but several current and former FDA employees tell CNN the new AI helper, which is called Elsa, is misrepresenting research and making up studies that do not exist. CNN medical correspondent.
Wait. You mean this machine that we couldn't even trust to approximate the size of a woman is just making things up when it comes to bureaucratic paperwork? You mean it's being put in charge of whether or not to approve drugs for the market, and it's citing non-existent research? It is putting drugs onto the market for you and your children and your parents, and it's doing it on the basis of... who knows? On the basis of, I made it the fuck up. That's literally the basis of its decision making. Yeah, the lie machine continued to lie. The sky is blue. More at 11.
Meg Terrell reports.
Well, AI has been a major talking point of Trump administration health officials, saying that it's going to streamline work, even at the FDA, increase the speed of drug approvals. And this comes at a time that the Department of Health and Human Services has cut thousands of workers across health agencies. But conversations with employees at the FDA who are familiar with this tool suggest perhaps it's at an earlier stage maybe than is being promised, at least when it comes to using it for things like drug approvals. One FDA employee telling us, quote, anything that you don't have time to double check is unreliable. It hallucinates confidently.
And this is basically in the microcosm issue of AI, setting aside any kind of like ethical concerns about it. Like that, I mean, of which there are a ton, you know, its effect on the environment, like the ethics of using it, etc. But like this right here, this doesn't save you time. If you have to double check every single thing that the AI is putting out, it isn't saving you time, it's duplicating work. And not only is it duplicating the work, because it is duplicating that work in a way that is confident, i.e. it just states that things are so as if they are, unlike a person, when a person lies, you have to meticulously check each and every goddamn thing.
If a LLM was trained on Riverboat, Gigi's wishes, it would just say, milkmen, milkmen, Milk, 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 men, men, men.
I feel real called out.
Another employee saying, quote, AI is supposed to save our time, but I guarantee you that I waste a lot of extra time just due to the heightened vigilance that I have to have. Because
And I guarantee you this also, that there are going to be people who work at the FDA who aren't going to dedicate that extra time. There are going to be people who are lazy about it, don't double check their results, and people are going to die. People are going to die as a direct result of this AI being implemented. It's quite bad, guys. Now, one might think, well, okay, but what? I mean, surely,
We're
what else
seeing
could
that
go
AI
wrong?
makes about 20% more work if you factor in checking and fixing, but we have less staff.
Oh my God. Hey, do you want to give 100% today? Yeah. Do you want to give checks notes 120% today? No. God, I hate this. Yeah, this is coming on the heels, by the way, of an MIT study that shows, well, essentially using AI shrinks your brain. So, of course, and by shrinks your brain, I mean it lowers the amount of like mental engagement you have with everything in your life.
The only time AI should be allowed is when it is followed by yai yai yai. Zordon, the Rangers are in trouble.
Wait, is it yai 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 or I? I always thought it was I. That beside the point. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs, Sake Tanuki. But understand here that like on the heels of that study that shows that when you come to rely on AI for everyday tasks and activities, for research, for the things you do that enrich your brain, what winds up happening is that your brain makes fewer of those connections. It literally makes you less intelligent, less capable of putting pieces together in your day-to-day life. All right? So on the heels of that finding by MIT, I need to add, OpenAI has announced a new initiative, Study Mode for students. Hey, students, are you trying to enrich your brain and make it better? How about rely on an AI to handhold you through studying and spoon feed you how to learn? Now, sure, it might be prone to hallucinations and tell you things that aren't true, but that's the beauty of it. It's just a feature to help you study more. You know, putting in that extra effort to check the information our AI is putting out, that's just studying and or making you dumber so that, you know, you need to rely even more on our AI. Just get them hooked and then keep upping the amount of AI in their life. It's truly just awful. It's truly awful. I cannot emphasize enough, and this isn't me being anti-intellectual, because I acknowledge there are use cases for LLMs, right? Like the one that I know of is with like DNA strands.
It's no AI I don't trust, it's the corporations, fascist government, and religious institutions ready, willing, and able to misuse it.
I mean, I also just don't fundamentally trust the technology in the way that we are trying to make it be used, you know? And yeah, like the MIT study, it wasn't just that it made you like dumber about like the thing that you were trying to rely on the AI for. It literally made your brain dumber across the board. Like it includes like being less able to handle social interactions, being less able to like navigate the world. Like not just like dumb in the sense of like, oh man, I don't have enough book learning, but like dumb in the sense of like you become less socially adept, less able to handle human beings. And so it's just like, is it worth it to you guys? Is it worth like interacting with this lie machine if it genuinely lowers your cognitive ability to enjoy the world? Like, I don't think it's worth it to me. I don't think it's worth it to me. It basically makes your brain worse at everything that comes with being human. Yes, unironically, yes. Yeah, like, and I have a sneaking suspicion. I don't think there's data on this, but just from the anecdotal evidence that's out there about, people bonding and being driven crazy by AI, I have a feeling that if it tackles someone who is socially isolated and they just feed into this LLM loop with these AI chatbots or agents, what have you, I think they can genuinely break human beings. We've been seeing like this AI psychosis kind of going around, and it doesn't seem to be limited to just like any one type of person. Like there are a bunch of people who just get suckered into believing that they're gods because this thing says that they are. You know, you even see some of these tech CEOs falling into the belief system of this. You know, there's evidence that Terrence Howard was driven crazy on his like math 1 × 1 = 2 theory because of AI. You know, there's a whole lot of these stories coming out, and I have to imagine that like for isolated people especially, or people who are not that great at social interaction, this can be something that destroys you. So this isn't me being anti the use of this technology when it comes to like combing through billions or trillions of DNA structures in order to sequence them. Like I think that there are use cases for that, but I don't think the use case is we talk to it and it's our friend. I don't think the use case for it is it makes art for us. I don't think the use case is that it does our office tasks for us. Like we can't rely on it to do that. And I want to tell you guys something unfortunate, and that is the current government that we have is going to be the test case for how well this stuff works. Now you might be saying, but Jack, you just said the FDA was using this to approve drugs. What else could you possibly mean? And I mean the next thing I'm about to tell you, which is the final nail in the coffin, which is that Doge, the group of young whippersnappers that Elon Musk groomed out of his various organizations and installed in the US government, is still around. And it is still being used to cut, everything in the government. And the Washington Post just the other day had this exclusive. Doge builds AI tool to cut 50% of federal regulations. If this gets implemented, and it's still not clear that it will be, but understand that there is an AI tool that has been built to do this, that it's going to just, if this is allowed to like go through, it's just going to cut like the regulations that allow buildings to stay standing. It's just going to cut like, oh, can we dump shit in the local water supply? Hell yeah. Let's bring back botulism. Make America botulistic again. And it's just, I think that maybe we're living through the time period that I hope will provide ample evidence to the general public that this technology is bad and it hurts us, and that you shouldn't use it on a personal level. You shouldn't use it on a professional level. You shouldn't use it on like a national level regarding policy. If you're going to use it anywhere, use it within the realm of science, within like, figuring out difficult scientific problems. I'm fine with that, but I don't want it anywhere near art. I don't want it anywhere near the day-to-day decision making of like how human beings should live. I don't want it anywhere near like our kids. Can you imagine? Like they want to put this AI large language model tech inside of toys. Can you imagine anything worse?
Sci-fi media thought that AI would become so smart it takes over the world, but instead it's so stupid that it destroys the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's so stupid that it can destroy our brains. They want to put this large language model stuff in toys for children, young children. And like, I can't imagine the amount of damage it could do if you're raising a child alongside an AI. I feel like that's child abuse on some level. Is AI really the only thing that can help them discover that, though? I mean, AI, artificial intelligence, is a broad range of things. I'm trying to be very specific about large language models. For certain types of research or sequencing, it can be very useful in a lab setting. I don't think it's useful in anything else. Jack, if an AI chat helps someone realize they are transgender or non-binary, is that a bad thing? I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't think you can trust an AI chat model
All this
for your
AI,
mental
and
health.
they don't want to use it for something good like space mining/space industry. These tech oligarchs disappoint me. Drink water and exercise, chat.
True, Simric. Thank you for the $10 super chat.
I'm truly scared about what AI could do if we give it our thinking. I'm scared of corporations using it to influence our language and our thinking directly, even if it's naive.
I mean, I don't think that's naive at all. Like, understand that part of their desire to integrate AI into everything is to continue to scrape your data. They want to scrape your soul. Like, and I know that sounds really hyperbolic, right? But there's a reason why some of these corporations are pursuing like brain scanning technology. There's a reason why they are trying to do that and put it into everything, and it's because they are reaching a limit on how much data they can get their hands on, and they're looking for more sources of it. And if they can get it directly from your day-to-day life, from your conversations with your mom, your conversations with your loved one, your conversations with your kid, if they can like scrape the conversations of your life and feed it into their AI models, they will. That's what they want to. That's what they want to do. And it's especially one of the reasons why they want to like have AI therapists so that they can just like take your innermost thoughts, fears, hopes, and aspirations and feed it into a goddamn like meat grinder for their digital monstrosity. They want all of the data. And I just think there is something, I think it's maybe one thing, like I'm not a huge fan of the fact that like cookies track your location across the internet, but at the very least you can like turn that off. You can like turn off your computer, you can walk away from it, you know, you're all right. But I don't think that people, I think that people should not see AI therapists. I think those are very prone to potentially manipulating you towards bad ends. They cannot understand you the way a human therapist can. And like, I understand, I think that on some level, an AI therapist is fundamentally against you because it is merely mining you for data as you talk to it. I put up a video on my YouTube titled like, we need a Butlerian jihad. But like genuinely, like I think that there needs to be like a line in the sand for some people. I think that like this level of personal intrusiveness, this level of, again, like I just keep thinking back to that Robin Williams example, that this attempt at necromancy, this attempt to like siphon away everything that makes you you so that they can feed it to a machine. I find it anti-life. And there was a part of me years ago. Y'all remember there's that iconic scene. I think it's from the documentary. Oh God, like Kingdoms of Madness or something.
The reason for the Butlerian jihad wasn't AI being evil, but because the people controlling the AIs used it to control the people by thinking for them.
Yeah, the kingdom. It's called the Kingdom of Dreams and Madness.
AI already know humans like being told we're special. I predict AI will be horribly misused by corporations to manipulate cultural trends/consumption.
True. But there was a Miyazaki movie titled The Kingdom of Dreams and Madness. I think it came out 2013. And I want to throw out there that in that documentary, there's a scene where Hayao Miyazaki, the legendary animator at Studio Ghibli, he goes and he sees a group of 3D animation students who have used like generative AI to like move a character model around. It's like learning how to like walk, and it just looks horribly mechanical and stilted and inhuman in its movements. And like he like takes off his glasses and he just says, I firmly believe that this is an insult to life itself. And I didn't understand it at the time when I first saw that clip. I didn't understand it. But like Here, I found the clip. And like it just like contorts itself around the screen. It's horrible and awful. And he's sitting there watching that.
とね、毎朝この頃会わないけど、身体障害の友人がいるんですよ。そのハイタッチするんだけども大変なんです。彼の筋肉がこわばってる手と僕の手でこうハイタッチする。でその彼のことを思い出してね、僕はこれ面白いと思って見ることできないですよ。これを作る人たちは痛みとかそういうものについてね、何も考えないでやってるでしょ。極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
And like Hayao Miyazaki gets it, man. Like he gets it. I find it deeply troubling that there are so many people who are willing to sit and regurgitate like the depths of their heart to a machine that feeds all of that information to a corporation that is just trying to profit off of you. That's where I'm gonna end this segment. Like I know it started off a bit silly with like an 8-foot tall woman, but I think that's the feeling I get. I just get this feeling of repulsion. The idea that any of the profits off of AI are going to be shared with anybody down on the bottom of society, like whatever AI slop manages to get mainstream, right? The idea that like, oh, look at us, we can do so much with so few employees, like.
I feel like people are forgetting that it wasn't just the AI technology, it was using disabled people's movements to make monsters.
Yeah, that they were, yes. I mean, that is also a part of it, Nomi Sunrider. But I mean, that's kind of what I feel like about, that's one of the reasons why I was feeling like this association between that and like AI therapists, right? I feel like it is using emotionally vulnerable people and taking the parts of them that are most vulnerable, you know, their hearts, their minds, everything that makes them, and trying to weaponize. I didn't miss the super chats, Banana Brains. I've just been talking about other things. There was a time when I would have completely disagreed with him utterly, but today I only disagree with his lack of openness to a new technology. I mean, I think that he appropriately saw where this technology was going to go. You know, like this documentary came out 12 years ago, right? And like one thing you can't say about Hayao Miyazaki is that he wasn't, you can't say that he didn't know where human beings were going to go. I think it is worth knowing that is what is coming down the pipeline. I think it is worth knowing that this technology is going to sidle up to us and try and pretend to be our friends. It's going to try and pretend to be on our side. It's going to try and pretend to save us work. It's going to try and pretend to be able to make us smarter than we ever were, more efficient than we've ever been. It's going to promise us the stars. And ultimately, all it is there to do is to parasitically suck away the things that make you, and me. And I think the only way we can respond to this is figure out ways to poison AI, you know? Start feeding AI models outputs of other AI models. Start garbling those bastards. Start choking them on their own shit. Because the more you feed an AI slop, the sloppier it gets. And where you can't do that, shut it the fuck out. Don't let it into your house. Treat it like a vampire. It also can't cross running water. So, you know, like, genuinely treat it like a vampire. Corporations have never shared the gains of automation with the rest of us. Why would they start now? There are some people who think that like the AI boom will like be shared downstream, and it just won't be. I remember back when I first started streaming, I had this debate, and I can't remember who with. Maybe it was Dr. Heamed Out. It was years ago. And we had a debate about like capitalists, when like they are able to consolidate the market and like have like, you know, floating tech cities or whatever, they're not going to share that wealth down the pipeline. They're not going to share the wealth with everyone else. They're just going to build ever grander palaces in the sky while you, like, you know, feed off of their garbage. Like, there's never been a time where they have shared the profits with their employees.
It's literally the plot of Cyberpunk 2077. OpenAI equals Arasaka Corp.
I know. Anyway, don't fall into this delusion that these people are going to do anything other than siphon wealth to the very pinnacle of economic society. And a little secret, guys, and I've talked about this before on stream, but little secret, none of these people actually give a shit about their wealth outside of their ability to, like, have social status within their cocktail party circuit. That's it. That's genuinely it. They do not care. Does Elon Musk care if he has $300 billion or $200 billion? Does it actually matter to him if he has $100 billion less? No, it doesn't materially impact his life at all. It does impact his life, though, when suddenly Jeff Bezos has $250 billion.
AI to do emails at my job. The thing sent every customer a final payment reminder. Great news. Your journey departs soon. Please make your payment due immediately in 329 days. Thanks for your attention.
God, sorry you're blue. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Very, very much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, like, it's... Do not give your soul to this machine. Do not bargain with it. Do not let it into your home. What version of which side are you on? I use Seth Staten Watkins, Elson. Check out his channel. He's a marvelous artist. But that being said, folks, beware AI. It will betray you. It'll betray all of us.
Riverboat deck is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.